On May 19th, 2018, the world stopped to watch a real-life fairy tale unfold as a Hollywood actress walked down the aisle to join the world's most famous family. Over 1.9 billion people tuned in to witness the spectacle of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry exchanging vows at St. George's Chapel. It was the peak of Sussex mania, a moment when it felt like they had become the new center of the cultural universe. But fast forward to May 2026, and the scenes surrounding their 8th wedding anniversary could not have been more different. Instead of global fanfare, there was a deafening silence from the very A-list circle they had spent years trying to cultivate. Not a single post from Oprah Winfrey, no public tributes from George and Amal Clooney, and even their supposed best friend, Serena Williams, remained strangely quiet on social media. It was as if the celebrity world had collectively decided to hit the mute button on the Montecito duo, leaving them stranded on what critics are calling a very small, very lonely island. To fill the void left by their former famous friends, Meghan took matters into her own hands by launching what many are calling a desperate PR blitz. She released a massive vault dump of 24 never-before-seen wedding photos, a move that felt less like a romantic celebration and more like a tactical distraction. But as viewers began zooming in on the details, they discovered something far more revealing than a simple trip down memory lane. One particular photo stood out, and not for the right reasons. It captured a moment of intense tension that reignited rumors about what really happened behind palace walls during those final days in the UK. In the shot, Prince Harry looks visibly agitated, caught in what appears to be a heated exchange with Maria Borrello, the longtime nanny to Prince William and Catherine's children. The body language in that single frame sent shockwaves through royal circles. While Harry appears to be in the middle of a confrontation, young Prince George and Princess Charlotte can be seen looking weary and uncomfortable just a few feet away. Royal insiders have long whispered that Catherine felt the need to protect her children during the wedding festivities, especially after reports surfaced claiming that Meghan's behavior toward young Charlotte left the Princess of Wales in tears. This newly leaked photo appears to support that theory, revealing a level of friction that is anything but romantic. It makes you wonder why Meghan would choose to share such an awkward moment with the world, unless she was focused only on how good she looked in the frame, completely overlooking her husband's tense behavior in the background. But the controversy did not stop with a few old photos. Just days before the anniversary, Meghan was spotted in a selfie with a Finnish politician facing serious accusations. Will Rydman, a man currently embroiled in scandals involving racism and harassment allegations, was the last person the Duchess needed to be associated with while attempting to rebrand herself as a global humanitarian. The timing could not have been worse, arriving just as she was preparing for a high-profile speech in Geneva about the preventable harms of social media. It is a pattern we have seen repeatedly, a calculated attempt at positive publicity that is immediately overshadowed by poor vetting or a major lapse in judgment. It almost feels as though the massive staff they once relied on has shrunk so dramatically that there is no one left willing to tell them no. And that brings us to the most powerful symbol of where Project Sussex stands in 2026, the kitchen. For years, the couple tried to project an image of quiet luxury, filming Netflix shows and promotional clips in beautiful, sun-drenched spaces. But recently, the illusion appears to have cracked. Investigative reports revealed that the stunning kitchen Meghan used for her With Love, Meghan's series was actually a rented farmhouse, not her own home. The reality of her actual kitchen in Montecito is reportedly far less aspirational. Visitors to the home have described it as dark and outdated, filled with orange-brown wooden cabinets and copper pots that appear untouched since 2003. In a neighborhood where billionaires tear down entire homes just to improve the view, the fact that they have not remodeled their kitchen in 6 years is now being viewed as a revealing sign of their true financial situation. This Taco Bell kitchen narrative has become a metaphor for their entire brand. While they were once the most sought-after content creators on the planet, they are now what Hollywood insiders dismissively call a label. Their multi-million-dollar business venture with Netflix for the as-ever lifestyle brand officially hit the rocks in March 2026 after a year of slow growth and cautious moves from the streaming giant. Meghan reportedly decided to take the brand independent, But industry gossip tells a very different story. Many insiders claim Netflix had grown frustrated because they were essentially being used as a storefront for products that simply were not selling. Without the backing of a major studio, the As Ever brand, which includes everything from flower sprinkles to children's scented candles, is now facing a steep uphill battle to remain relevant. The candle line in particular has raised more than a few eyebrows. Meghan's latest offering is a collection of luxury candles reportedly inspired by the joy of her children, Archie and Lilibet. While some fans find the idea sweet, critics have slammed it as inappropriate and a cynical attempt to monetize her own children. There has even been backlash over a candle supposedly created in honor of the late Queen's nickname, Lilibet, which was originally marketed as a tribute before being quietly rebranded as a founder's daughter, scent after public outrage became too loud to ignore. It is this constant push to monetize every aspect of their royal connection that has led many observers to believe the couple is truly running out of options. Even their international travels in 2026 have failed to move the needle. A recent trip to Australia was described as a total disaster, with reports surfacing that Meghan was allegedly selling selfies to fans for money. Polling in the region was brutal, and website traffic for their ventures reportedly dropped while they were there. It is a sharp contrast to the genuine joy often seen in the rest of the royal family. Take Prince William, for example, who was recently spotted in Istanbul celebrating wildly in the stands as his boyhood club, Aston Villa, clinched the Europa League title. It was a moment of pure human emotion that did not appear staged for cameras or crafted as part of a PR strategy. It was simply a man enjoying a victory with his friends, a reminder of what relatable royalty can look like. While William appears to be thriving, King Charles has been dealing with his own set of challenges, though handling them with a level of grace the Sussexes could learn from. During a recent engagement in Northern Ireland, a seagull targeted the monarch, leaving a mess on the back of his suit jacket. In a moment that could have turned into a public relations nightmare, the king simply laughed it off, joking that he was just relieved it had not landed on his head. He continued greeting well-wishers for hours with the stain still visible, proving that he does not need a perfectly curated farmhouse set to maintain his dignity. But behind the scenes, the king is facing a far more serious issue. A massive document dump in May 2026 has brought the ghost of Prince Andrew back to the palace gates. Newly released government papers revealed that the late Queen Elizabeth II was the driving force behind Andrew's appointment as a trade envoy, despite him having no formal security vetting. The files paint a staggering picture of unquestioning deference, showing that Andrew allegedly told officials he preferred visiting sophisticated countries rather than handling the less glamorous side of trade promotion. Reports claim he favored attending the ballet and theater and viewed luxury international travel as his birthright. Today, Prince Andrew's life is reportedly a far cry from those luxury tours. Reports suggest he now spends his nights skipping showers and playing Call of Duty until dawn, complaining to anyone who will listen that his life is damn ruined. The scandal is a stain that refuses to be wiped clean, and it continues to haunt King Charles as he attempts to modernize the monarchy. But the real drama erupted when rumors began swirling that the king might be working on a secret deal to bring Prince Harry back into the royal fold. While some see it as a father's desperate attempt to reconcile with his son, others believe it is a calculated move to prevent the Sussexes from spiraling further into financial trouble. The evidence appears to be mounting, from subtle shifts in the king's public language to reports of late-night phone calls that do not involve lawyers. If a deal truly is in the works, it would become the ultimate plot twist in the Montecito soap opera that has captivated the world for nearly a decade. For Meghan and Harry, the stakes have never been higher. Their attempt to position themselves as serious geopolitical thinkers on the world stage in Geneva was immediately undermined by their return to influencer-style tactics just 48 hours later. One day, they are speaking alongside technocrats connected to the World Health Organization, and the next, they are posting pictures of penguin ornaments and anniversary cakes. This scattershot approach has left their brand in a state of complete chaos. Without a clear direction or a loyal team steering the ship, they appear to be throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. But with every public misstep and every awkward merchandise launch, the wall is starting to look increasingly crowded. Public perception of the couple seems to be approaching a tipping point. While they still maintain a dedicated fan base, their broader social decline is becoming harder to ignore. When your only visible anniversary wishes come from an airline crew who may have been briefed beforehand, it raises uncomfortable questions. The tragedy of the Sussexes is that they went from hosting a wedding attended by the world's biggest A-listers to standing on a very small island surrounded by Olive Garden-style cabinets and candles scented with nostalgia. They have spent 8 years trying to find their place in the world, but in the process, they may have alienated many of the people who could have helped them succeed. As we look toward the future of the British monarchy, the contrast between those who stayed and those who left has never been clearer. While Prince William prepares to one day take the throne with the support of a nation and a genuine passion for royal duty, Harry and Meghan seem trapped in a never-ending cycle of rebranding that never quite connects. Every week brings another controversy, another unseen photo, or another headline that leaves people wondering what the true purpose of it all really is. If they genuinely wanted privacy, critics argue they are now the ones invading it the most. They have become the directors of their own soap opera. But as the ratings continue to fall, even many loyal viewers appear to be tuning out. The question remains, is there still a path back for them, or have they finally reached the end of the road in their royal journey? Their quest for global dominance may now depend entirely on the rumored secret deal with the king. But even that lifeline would come with a heavy price. It would mean admitting that the independent life they fought so hard to build had failed. It would mean returning to the very system they spent years criticizing. And for a couple that turned freedom into their entire brand, that could become the most shocking twist of all. For now, they continue navigating the murky waters between celebrity and royalty, struggling to remain relevant in a world that increasingly seems ready to move on. The Montecito lives of Meghan and Harry continue to generate endless drama. But behind the polished promos and cryptic social media posts, there is a growing sense of unease. The so-called Taco Bell kitchen is no longer just a place where they cook. It has become a symbol of a dream that never fully materialized. A reminder that no matter how many carefully crafted, high-retention narratives they try to build around their lives, reality remains impossible to control. The social freeze-out appears real. The financial pressure seems to be mounting, and the increasingly awkward advertising posts are beginning to feel less like a business strategy and more like a cry for help. In the end, the 8th anniversary of the wedding of the century served as a sobering reminder of just how dramatically fortunes can change. From the heights of Windsor Castle to the dark corners of a Montecito mansion, the journey of Harry and Meghan has been anything but predictable. As scandals continue surfacing and rumors of reconciliation grow louder, people are left wondering what the next chapter of this story will bring. Will they reinvent themselves once again? Or will they forever be remembered as the couple who seemingly had everything and gave it away for branding deals and luxury candles? Only time will tell. But if the last 8 years have taught the public anything, it is that with these two, the unexpected is always around the corner. As documents connected to Prince Andrew continue leaking and King Charles deals with the fallout from his brother's troubled past, the monarchy itself appears to be in a period of transition. The contrast between the traditional royals and the Sussex brand has never been more obvious. While one side focuses on duty, tradition, and maintaining stability, even through embarrassing moments like bird incidents during public appearances, the other appears consumed by metrics, viral hooks, and preserving an image that many believe is rapidly collapsing. It has become a battle for the soul of the British royal family. And as of May 2026, the scoreboard does not appear favorable for the California team. The story of Meghan and Harry increasingly feels like a cautionary tale about trying to live two completely different lives at once. You cannot fully be both a private citizen and a global influencer without eventually sacrificing something important. For the Sussexes, many critics believe that sacrifice has been their credibility. Every exposed detail and every newly surfaced controversy only deepens the perception that they are trapped in a game they cannot win. Standing on their metaphorical island while the world moves forward without them, they may finally be realizing that the real shocking truth is not about the family they left behind, but about the life they created for themselves. The silence from Hollywood's A-list during their anniversary was not viewed as mere coincidence. To many observers, it felt like a message, a sign that the celebrity world has looked behind the curtain and decided the drama is no longer worth investing in. And as the dusty Montecito kitchen remains symbolic of a fading dream and that, as ever, brand struggles to survive, the reality of their situation may finally be sinking in. They're no longer viewed as the stars of the show. Instead, critics increasingly portray them as former leading figures still searching for relevance in a production that has already moved on without them. It is a dramatic decline that no amount of unseen photos or carefully staged content can fully reverse. So, as the chapter closes on their 8th anniversary, what remains is a mixture of discomfort, curiosity, and unanswered questions. The Montecito soap opera may still have a few seasons left, but audiences are growing tired of the same repeated storylines. The public has already seen the leaked photos, heard the explosive rumors, and watched the endless rebranding attempts. What many say they still have not seen is genuine reflection or a sincere effort to repair the damage done. Until that happens, the Sussexes will likely continue drifting further away from the center of public attention, lost in a world of their own making, while the rest of the royal family continues to thrive through what many perceive as more genuine lives. The rumored secret deal with King Charles may represent their final chance at a fairy tale ending. But even that possibility feels hollow to many observers. It would not be a return because they suddenly believed in the institution again. It would be a return born out of necessity, because there may be nowhere else left to go. And perhaps that is the most shocking truth of all. The fairy tale that began in 2018 has, by 2026, transformed into a survival story. The joy they once projected has seemingly been replaced by a constant struggle to remain relevant. It is a drama so bizarre that even Hollywood's best writers might struggle to invent it. As the story continues unfolding, people are left wondering what could possibly come next beyond yet another confusing social media post or another failed attempt at rebranding. The reality of Project Sussex now appears clearer than ever. Critics argue it became a brand built on public missteps, disastrous decisions, and a misunderstanding of what audiences actually wanted from them. They promised a modern monarchy, but instead launched lifestyle branding and candle collections. They sought freedom, but ended up isolated and facing what many describe as a social freeze-out. As they continue navigating life in Montecito, they are discovering that reality is far more difficult to manage than the carefully crafted image they spent years trying to sell. And as the public watches with a mixture of fascination and secondhand embarrassment, one final thought continues to linger. Life has a way of humbling people when it refuses to follow the script they imagined. Their 8th anniversary was supposed to mark a milestone, a celebration of a love story that overcame impossible odds. Instead, it became symbolic of everything critics believe has gone wrong. From reported tensions with royal staff to endless PR controversies, awkward branding attempts, and questionable publicity campaigns, the anniversary became, for many, a masterclass in alienating a global audience. The silence from former celebrity allies was striking. The aggressive merchandising felt excessive to critics. And the PR blitz ultimately failed to shift public perception in any meaningful way. It is a narrative that may continue following them for years, a reminder of the dramatic decline many believe they experienced in just 8 years. Yet through all the controversy, the British monarchy itself continues moving forward. King Charles continues leading with humor and resilience. Prince William continues projecting stability and relatability. And the institution itself continues adapting to changing times. The Sussexes may have tried to dominate the conversation, but the noise surrounding them is finally beginning to fade, leaving behind a mess that even unseen wedding photos and polished social media campaigns cannot fully erase. For many observers, this feels like the closing chapter of an era for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And as the curtain slowly falls on the Montecito saga, some hope they eventually find the privacy they once claimed to seek, even if it means stepping away from the spotlight entirely. The rumors about a secret reconciliation deal will likely continue. The leaks surrounding Prince Andrew will probably keep causing headaches for the palace. But beneath all the scandal and speculation lies a much simpler story, the story of choices and consequences. Harry and Meghan made their decision in 2020. By 2026, many believe they are living with the results of that decision. It is a cautionary tale for anyone who believes they can outrun the past or outmaneuver public perception forever. Because in the end, the truth always finds a way to surface, whether through leaked photographs, uncomfortable headlines, awkward branding failures, or the silence of former friends. And for the Sussexes, many believe that truth is finally beginning to catch up with them.